that blade works.
Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Silver Fang, and today I'm back with another video. So this is gonna be Chulainn Explain, and I don't know if I pronounced that right. I tried. It is what it is, aka LANCER. This is the LANCER from Face Day Night. So this video is from the same guy that I did before, called Annie News. I really like his style of video. So today I'm gonna be seeing the lore of Chulainn and who he was, what time period is he from, all of that, hopefully. So I don't know what he's gonna say, but the last video was pretty detailed, so I really liked it a lot. So before we get started, please hit that like button, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. I would really appreciate it. As you can see in the corner right there, I put a goal for myself for 200 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you guys could please help me out with that, I would really appreciate it. And for those of you who subscribe, thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me. So I don't want to talk too much because that's not really much I can say, except for the fact that I love LANCER. I think from the Holy Grail War, from the Face Day Night timeline, I think he has to be my third favorite servant. First is Emiya, then is Gilgamesh, then is LANCER. So I really like him a lot. After I do LANCER, well, there's two parts to this video. So there's gonna be the lore and then the power. So I'm gonna try to do both of them, and then after I do those two videos, then after that I'm probably gonna do Gilgamesh. And the reason why I'm not doing Gilgamesh second is because I want to finish watching Babylonia first. I'm almost done, but I didn't want the lore of Gilgamesh to spoil anything for me or anything that they may use in Babylonia. So I decided to leave it for third. So no big deal. So let's get it on with LANCER, or aka Chulainn.
You guys asked for it, so here it is. The occasional video covering the Face Day Night servants as chosen by you in the community poll. Let's get into the video. For our first episode
like a social
in the Fates
media
Day Night
app
series,
exclusively
even
for
though it's
anime.
pretty clear you guys wanted Archer, I couldn't very well start off the series with the most popular servant. So instead, you all settled for LANCER, which was kind of a shock for me considering your guys' track record for having a preference for servants with the highest waifu potential, but that's how the votes were cast. So let's talk about the Celtic myth surrounding the demigod hero, Chulainn, the Child of Light.
Chulainn.
His birth
I
name
think
was
I pronounced that
Setanta,
right.
and he was born of the sun god Lu and the human woman named Diechtine.
Oh, he's a demigod.
At the time,
That's interesting. I
Diechtine
didn't
was
know
the
that.
sister of the king of Ulster, Conchobar, or Conor MacNessa, and her giving birth to Setanta was not a surprise at all. Many noblemen knew that Diechtine was to give birth to the child of a god, and as such, many of them offered to raise him as their foster father.
Oh, that's
But
dope.
in the end, it was decided that Setanta would be raised by all of them, with
That's
each
why they
providing
call
for
him the
him
Child
a
of
different
Light.
aspect
He's
of life,
the
including
son of
wealth,
a
education,
sun
health,
god,
and
so
pretty much whatever else a person
makes
could wish
sense.
for to have a nice upbringing.
I was curious, like, why
It
do
was
they
during
call
this time
him
that
the Child
Setanta
of
would
Light?
watch the hardened Irish equivalent of the Boy Scouts play games of hurling. They were known as the Boy Troop, and they were the sons of the Knights of the Red Branch, the Irish version of the Knights of the Round Table, but with a little less tact and a lot more pride. Setanta
Gotcha.
wanted to join the Boy Troop, but was still too young and didn't have a warrior to approve his entry into the troop, as was the protocol. So Setanta, being the impatient 7-year-old he is, marches his way down to the training camp where he finds the 150
Lancer's
or
a
so boys
badass.
playing a game of hurling. Setanta jumps right into the
I don't know
game
what
without a
hurling is.
announcement, which the other boys took as a challenge since he was an outsider, so they all tried to fight him at once. But as you'd expect from a 7-year-old demigod, Setanta was able to fight and beat all 150 of them in the most anime-esque fashion that you can
God damn,
imagine. In what could very
150
well
at
be
7
the
years
first
old?
ever
That's
recorded instance
crazy.
of anime-level
This
hair
dude is a
in history.
freaking badass,
You see,
bro.
Setanta had this rage mode referred to as a warp spasm that transformed his entire body, and it utilizes the well-known hair sticking up when in beast mode anime trope. So much so that in the translated description of it, they say his hair became so spiky that if he was standing under an apple tree and that apple tree was shaken, every apple that fell from it wouldn't even touch the ground, but instead be impaled by his spiky hair.
That's
so this,
crazy.
among other pretty grotesque things that could barely be properly portrayed in this image, encompass Setanta's Hulk mode. The fight carries on
Gotcha.
until King Connor intervenes
That was weird
and
too,
explains
like
the
with the
situation to
veins.
the boy troop.
I found it weird when
Setanta
I
is then
saw that.
accepted into the boy troop as
But
the
that makes
youngest
sense
member
now.
ever, and he finally gets to play hurling with the boys. A little bit later, King Connor was on his way to a party at a well-known smith's house known as Chulainn, when he passed by the boy troop's field to see Setanta putting on a spectacular performance while playing hurling. Connor was so impressed that he invited Setanta to come with him to the dinner. Setanta, not wanting to lose his game, tells Connor to go on without him and that he'll catch up. So the king does so, but he forgets to tell Chulainn that he's expecting anyone else. Chulainn then closes the gates to his house and unleashes his ferocious Celtic hound watchdog that's said to have the strength
my
of
God.
10 men. Setanta arrives at the house, but is attacked by Chulainn's savage hound, leaving him no choice but to kill it in self-defense. Chulainn comes out with the rest of the guests to see his beloved dog killed. Everyone is astounded at his accomplishment, but Chulainn is somewhat saddened by the loss.
Yo.
Setanta, seeing this, offers to train his next dogs, but Chulainn refuses, stating that he must first train himself because he was meant to become the guard dog of Ulster. It was from this point that Setanta
Wow, so
became
he
known
got-
as Chulainn, meaning
Oh
Chulainn's
my
savage
God.
dog. Now, for the sake of my sanity, I'm just going to refer to Chulainn
So
as
Coo
Coo
means
from now on. Just because
means
it's easier to
savage
speak,
dog?
and I'm still
What?
not 100% sure whether I've been pronouncing his name right this entire time. And I'm
Also,
sure you guys will let me know in the
If
comments.
he hasn't
But
been
anyway,
pronouncing it right, then
the
I
next
haven't been
major event
pronouncing
in
it
his
right.
life
So
would be of the prophecy from the chief druid Cathbad. Cathbad was talking to the boy troops about one of his visions, saying that anyone who was to take up arms on this day
yo,
would have
his life has
everlasting
been
fame.
so
When
freaking
Coo hears
interesting,
this,
bro.
he rushes to King Connor and asks to bear a weapon. After he's given a suitable one, Cathbad finishes his prophecy, stating that whoever takes up arms would also live a short life. But Coo, still being this badass 7-year-old, just accepts
Yo,
it and walks away.
Mind you,
while
he's
laughing.
still 7 while
Now,
doing
as
all
time
this.
went on and Coo grew up into his teenage years, the noblemen of Ulster realized that if they didn't find a woman suitable for him soon, his beauty would, and I quote, steal their wives and ruin their daughters. Although they went out in search for someone, Coo already had someone to
That's
set his heart on.
hilarious.
Her name was Emmer, the daughter of King Forgal Monarch. Now, depending on where you read the legend, there could be different scenarios. One where she loves him back, but the king won't let him see her until he completes an impossible quest, or one where
This
she
guy
doesn't
pretty
love
much
him
was a
back
player.
because at the time he was just some nameless warrior, and she
Well,
didn't want a man who
they
wasn't
did
well
make
known.
that.
But
They did
regardless
show
of
that
which it was,
in the
both
movie
paths led to a
where
famous
he
warrior
was a
woman
caster
named
that he was
Skahak.
trying to hit on Mash.
She was a sought
and
after
then
trainer
in
of the
Unlimited
most
Blade Works, he
promising
was also
warriors.
trying to
Well,
hit on
if they could survive while trying to find her, that is.
Tosaka at
Eventually,
first.
Coo did find her in the Land of the Shadows and became one of her many apprentices, alongside Ferdiad, a warrior of one of the neighboring countries of Connacht. These two competed against each other time and time again to be the one to receive Gaia Bold, but in doing so, they also became the best of friends. They went through rigorous training together, but in the end, Coo was the one to receive the magical spear. Also during his training, Skahak is challenged by her rival Aoife, but she fears that asking for Coo's help would lead to his death. She attempts to fight Aoife alone by drugging Coo with a potent sleeping potion. Coo, being Coo, wakes up only after an hour and goes to help. Once he joins the battle, he ends up fighting Aoife in a one-on-one duel. He actually grew rather fond of her during this duel, and is able to get the upper hand on her by doing the classic major look, by saying that her favorite chariot and horses had fallen off a cliff. Now,
What?
isn't that just the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
That is
But
freaking
it worked,
ridiculous.
So with Coo victorious, he takes her prisoner and says that she would only be released if she would stop attacking Skahak and give birth to his son. Aoife accepts and was released pregnant with Coo's son.
So it's like
Before
that,
they departed
huh?
forever though, he tells Aoife to name his son Conla and to send him to Ulster at the right age. He was also to follow 3 very strict vows, and those were to never answer his name when asked, to not change course from his path to Ulster, and to never back down from a fight. Coo and Ferdiad then leave the Land of Shadows and return to their respective countries. Coo
I'm
meets
pretty
Emma
sure
once
that's gonna
again,
come back
but
to
is
play
denied
later.
marriage yet again by King Forgal. In a fit of rage, he stormed King Forgal's castle, kidnaps Emmer, and takes all of his treasure. And as if that wasn't bad enough, in an unlucky turn of events, Forgal falls to his death while looking out from his balcony to see his daughter being taken away. It just wasn't his day.
Wow.
A few
Yeah.
years go by,
Yeah.
and the neighboring country Connacht, led by the warmongering Queen Maeb, begins attacking Ulster, for no good reason other than to steal a golden bull. Now the men of
Again?
Ulster couldn't capably defend their country due to a curse that would make them feel labor pains if they were ever invaded. This made them unable to fight, leaving Coo as the only available warrior to defend the entire country. Coo becomes a literal one-man army that spends countless days slaying waves of enemy soldiers.
Yo, so he's
Eventually,
basically
Maeb
fighting a
agrees to
whole
change the way
army
that the
by
war is
himself.
fought
That's
to one
insane.
where only a single soldier was allowed to fight
my
Coo
God.
at a time. It was a trade-off that would allow her to not lose thousands of men all at once, in return for being allowed to advance further for the duration of the fight, which I could only assume to have lasted a few seconds each time. So every day, Mayeb would lose one man, but gain a few inches, and Ku would delay the advancement
That's
of our
crazy.
armies while slowly diminishing their numbers. Ku eventually came across a duel that left him extremely injured, resulting in him having to rest for a day.
I wonder
The
who was that
realized
though.
that they would have to defend Ulster in his stead. So they go out and attack the Connaught
Who
forces
injured
so
Ku?
they could buy Ku some time. Of
'Cause
course,
that dude was
they all
probably
get
a
slaughtered,
badass.
and when Ku awakes to see them all dead, he uses the most intense warp spasm ever to absolutely annihilate hundreds of Mayeb's soldiers. It was at this
Oh my
point that
God.
Mayeb realized that this was going on for far too long. So she sends out her strongest warrior to end the war once and for all. Ferdiad gets sent out to duel Ku, and although neither wanted to face each other, they had to for the pride of their country. Now, back in the land of the shadows, Ferdiad was pretty much Ku's equal in terms of skill in combat, so they were
Really?
evenly matched in a fight that went on for 3 days straight. It was when Ku finally decided to bring out Gaia Bolg, which landed a killing blow at Ferdiad's heart, did the battle finally end. And with Ferdiad's
Yeah, you know
defeat,
you a
Mayeb
badass
came shortly after.
if you're equal
A
to
war
a
that lasted
demigod.
7 years, fought pretty much solely by Ku against the allied forces of 3 countries together, had finally ended. This marked the final major battle that Ku would ever take part in. However, a boy who was unmatched in skill appeared at the coast of Ulster one day. Any warrior that tried to approach him was defeated easily, and since he was assumed to be an invader, the king ordered Ku to face this young man. The boy was so strong that Ku was forced to use Gaia Bolg yet again to edge out victory. And as the boy was dying in Ku's hands, he heard him say the words, "She didn't teach me that." Ku knew at that moment who this boy was
don't tell
and who
me.
he was referring to. The boy was Conla.
Damn,
so
bro.
long ago, and he was trained by Skahawk before being sent out to find his father in
Oh
Ulster.
my god, that's so.
That kind of got me by surprise.
That's
But
messed
as
up.
the years went on, so did Ku. But
That's
Mayeb,
messed up.
who had been released from capture by Ku at the end of the war,
I
had
knew
come
that
up
she
with
was
a
gonna
plot to
come
defeat
back at some
You see,
point.
one of the sources of Ku's power was the many Gyases or contracts that he had put on himself. They were a curse type thing that restricted one action but granted power in exchange. Mayeb found a way to get Ku to break each and every one of his Gyas,
Reminds me of
thus making him use
Nen.
his powers one by one.
I don't know if you guys seen
Mayeb
Hunter
then
x
invaded
Hunter.
Ulster once again, leaving the weakened version of Ku to have to defend his country all by himself once more. Now, depending on where you read the legend, it could deviate from this point again. But long story short, Ku eventually falls in battle after being pierced by his own spear. Not wanting to die lying down though, he ties himself to a pillar,
Wow.
some say with his own innards, and dies standing on his feet while facing his enemies, thus bringing the legend of
Yo,
Ku
that's
Chulainn to
badass.
an end.
That's badass. That's crazy.
God damn, that was a long one. This was
That's
definitely one of
badass.
my favorite ones though. Even though it's quite
Mine
long and I
too.
did skip out on a few of the other minor events throughout his life,
And I
think
love
hit
how
most of the major
Fate-
points. As much as I'd like to talk about his abilities and Noble Phantasms now, I'll save that video for a later date. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this first installment for the Fate Stay Night Explained series, and I hope you didn't mind the promo at the beginning. I know that can be annoying to some, but a little extra pocket change is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching.
feel you,
and
bro.
if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So until next time, ciao.
Alright, so that's pretty much it with the first video. I enjoyed it a lot. This story was really interesting. He was a badass by the age of 7. Yo, that's crazy. I mean, he is a demigod, but like he's beating out like 150 kids at once. Like, oh my god, this dude is a freaking beast, man. Like, I really enjoyed this video, and I also enjoy how Fate uses the lore in their story. So remember, like in Unlimited Blade Works, how CAREE ordered him to pierce his chest with his own blade. That is from the lore. Like the veins in his rage mode, that is also from the lore. Like that's amazing. I really like that. Like, they don't just take the name or the character. They actually use like the lore in the story. So I really like that. That's really interesting. And this guy was pretty much like a one-man army throughout his whole life. And it's crazy because Chulainn is not even his real name. Like, his real name is Satanta. I didn't know that either, so that was pretty interesting. So like, his whole story, his whole life story was pretty amazing. The thing about murdering his own son, that was messed up, bro. Like the only reason why I figured is because as soon as I heard that his son left, I try to keep that in my mind because I knew it was gonna come back later. But if someone is not paying that much attention, like, it could completely go over their head easily. But like, that is crazy too. Like, that's messed up, honestly. But that's pretty much it. Like, this story was really interesting. It was. This guy's a freaking badass, man. It's definitely one of my favorite characters in Fate. I enjoyed him a lot. This guy's a freaking ladies man too. Like, they mentioned that. That's crazy, bro. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button. It will really help me out a lot. Please help me reach my goal of 200 subs by the end of the month. I will really appreciate it. And that's pretty much it. Next time we'll be doing part 2, that are pretty much gonna go over his powers, and then about those powers I'm probably gonna have a lot to say. But when it comes to the story, I can just say it was really interesting, and I really liked it a lot. His story was awesome. He had an awesome life, and at the same time he had a tragic end and some tragic moments in his life. So yeah, man, but the story was definitely entertaining. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave some more suggestions in the comment section below. I can never have too much of those. And that's it. As I always say, see you guys next time, and have an awesome day.